Thank you very much. I know everybody's very excited.
IT, are you ready?
Is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good evening, everyone. We're now calling this meeting to order. It is now 6:12 p.m. This is our evening session of our regular scheduled January council meeting. Today is January the 15th, 2025. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilwoman Nico Reynoso,
Present.
Councilman Rafael Pinedo,
Present.
Councilwoman Digna Cabral is absent, excused. Vice Mayor Maureen Porras.
Here.
Mayor Christy Fraga.
Present.
Mayor, you have quorum.
All right, we have special guests today that will be doing our Pledge of Allegiance. So please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance led by the Boy Scouts. Girls are here today of Troop 552. Ladies? Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, ladies. Thank you very much. All right. We now have our agenda order of business. I do believe there may be an item that needs to be pulled by the city attorney.
Yes, Madam Mayor. If all of you would allow, I'd like to pull item D, which is the ordinance modifying the Midtown Flood Phase 2. This will be coming back before you in February as an ordinance again.
Okay, perfect. If there's no other changes, additions, or deletions to the order agenda of business?
Yeah. I also want to make just one small comment. Before you, I placed the city manager employment agreement, and it's placed before you because it was mentioned that we would be bringing it back for all of you to be able to review. It's already been fully executed, and we have our manager up and running.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. City Attorney.
Through the mayor.
Yes, did you want to-
If the council is okay with it, I'd like to move my item, 1920, discussion item, to right before the budget amendment to allow our special guest, Mr. Eric Trump, who's here with us, to hear his item first, and then, mine would be right before the budget amendment, if that's okay with all of you.
Not a problem. Okay, it's okay with everybody? All right. If there's no more items to move on the agenda, we'll move into public comments. The public comments portion of this meeting is now open. Anyone who would like to speak on any item germane to this council or on this agenda, please approach the podium. If you filled out a comment card, give me a chance to call the comment cards out. You have 3 minutes to speak in a respectful manner to this council. Please state your name and address for the record. And for the first comment card, and the only comment card I have today, I have Mr. Bruce Kaplan.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Bruce Kaplan, 11410 Northwest 20th Street, Miami 33172. Thank you, Madam Mayor, Madam Vice Mayor. Welcome to the Republican Party. Council members, I'm here today to support the Trump Organization's development. Having just served on the city's Quinquennial Charter Review Commission, I understood that Doral was founded to become the Coral Gables of West Miami-Dade County. As a former county commissioner, I also was very well aware of that. The Trump Project, as conceived by the president and Eric Trump, paying exquisite attention to every detail, the angle of the sun, the reflections, the views, the environment, and then to have this magnificent project designed by Mario, Andrew, and Peter will be a catalyst for that. Earlier today, watching our very good friend Pam Bondi's confirmation hearing, I was struck by a comment made by a Democrat senator giving her a stern warning to not become the Roy Cohn to President Trump. Well, I worked for Roy Cohn as a law student and as a young lawyer, and proudly represented the president in what was the first deployment of an air rights exemption, allowing big, beautiful buildings to be constructed skyward. In the first case ever, it was a big, beautiful, bold Hyatt hotel sitting high above Grand Central Station, spurring the westward renaissance of the blighted 42nd Street Times Square area. The formula was used many times from river to river by the Trump Organization, building unique, big, beautiful marquee buildings in Manhattan. The project in Doral will be a similar example. As many of you know, I've brought a lawsuit against the operator of the incinerator that caught fire in February of 2023 and spewed carcinogens into the air across our city. County Mayor Levine Cava campaigned for re-election on never allowing the incinerator to be rebuilt in Doral, then did a 180 degree, and after winning, quickly citing Doral as the only logical choice for rebuilding. Eric Trump stepped in, and the item has been deferred at the county for now. Thank you very much, Mr. Trump. Phenomenal. My team and I have spent almost $1 million proving that carcinogens and toxins fell on us for almost 3 months. All we have asked Covanta to do is be a good neighbor and clean the affected areas and pay for DNA testing for residents and those who work in Doral, getting a clean bill of health, or having a prevention or treatment regime designed for them. Covanta has blamed the victims for living or working here, saying any damages are somehow our own faults and should have been expected. Not good neighbors like the Trump Organization is a very good neighbor. So as you approve every aspect of this big, beautiful project, please do not let Covanta or Mayor Levine Cava off the hook. Covanta must pay to fix what they have done to us, what they broke. The plant must never be rebuilt, and preferably the dump, landfill, closed forever. Otherwise, how can we expect responsible developers of unique properties like this one before you this evening to be built until remediation quickly takes place? Thank you very much. And again, congratulations on everyone's election. Fantastic council. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kaplan. Anyone else would like to speak in public comments? Please remember that we do have public hearing for each public hearing item. If you'd like to speak at that time, you can as well. Okay, being none, going once, going twice, 3 times. Public comments is now closed, and we'll move into our public hearing items. Madam Clerk, item A, and if you could please swear in, yes.
If you will be presenting in any of the public hearings here tonight, all of them, please stand up, raise your right hand, and repeat after me. I do solemnly swear that the information that I'm about to present shall be the truth and nothing but the truth. Thank you very much. I will read the first item, which is item 20A, a resolution of the mayor and the city council of the city of Doral, Florida, approving the site plan for Trump Endeavor 12 LLC for plus and minus 56 acres of property located at 4400 Northwest 87th Avenue, Doral, Florida, pursuant to section 53-184F of the city's land development code, providing for incorporation of recitals and providing for an effective date. Madam Mayor, I believe that everybody, all the Trump items.
Correct. That was going to be
heard
my
together.
next comment. If we could please read in also to the record 20J and 20K, since they all have to do with the same topic. We're going to take them all up at the same time, but I believe we do have to take individual votes.
That is correct, Madam Mayor.
Okay.
Item J, second reading, ordinance number 2024-23, Trump Endeavor 12 LLC rezoning, an ordinance of the mayor and the city council of the city of Doral, Florida, approving an amendment to the city's official zoning map from multifamily residential 4MF4 and industrial commercial IC to downtown mixed-use DMU for the property located at 4400 Northwest 87th Avenue, Doral, Florida, providing for severability, providing for complex, and providing for an effective date. Item K, ordinance number 2025-04, Trump Endeavor 12 LLC Master Development Agreement, an ordinance of the mayor and the city council of the city of Doral, Florida, approving the Trump Endeavor 12 LLC Master Development Agreement in order to develop approximately 1,498 residential units and 141,694 of commercial units in addition to the existing hotel and golf resort uses, providing for incorporation of recitals and providing for an effective date.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. I will now open up public hearing for items A, J, and K. Public hearing is now open. Again, we are taking public hearing for items 20A, J, and K, also known as 25-5998, 24-5774, and 25-6003. If anyone would like to speak on these items, now would be your reasonable opportunity. Being none, public hearing is now closed, and I will take any ex parte communication from any members of the council before we hear presentations. Do we have any ex parte communications?
I've met with the applicant, and that does not influence my decision.
Thank you, Vice Mayor.
Mayor, I also met with the applicant. It doesn't affect my decision.
Okay. I've met with the applicant, and and also does not affect my decision. Okay, Madam Clerk, we're ready to hear from our presentations, which I believe will start with staff. Michelle?
Madam Mayor, members of the City Council, Michelle Lopez with the Corradino Group, Planning and Zoning Director. The applicant, Trump Endeavor 12, is proposing a development located at 4400 Northwest 87th Avenue, approximately 56.4 acres. The requests before you this evening are three. The first is second reading of the rezoning from multifamily residential and industrial commercial to downtown mixed use. Second reading of that item. The second item requested this evening is second reading of the master development agreement, which includes details related to the project, zoning specifications, zoning infrastructure, transit and improvements, development phasing and schedule established, deadlines, levels of service, and concurrency. The third item before you this evening is the site plan approval. The site plan is going to request residential dwelling units totaling 1,498. The site plan also seeks to approve 400 hotel units and just under 142,000 square feet of commercial space. A brief history on the project. The future land use map amendment and straight transmittals started on August 8th, 2022. There was a zoning workshop held for the DMU land use amendment, and in October of that same year, it was considered by the local planning agency, and then first reading by the city council was approved on October 26th as well. Transmittal was sent to the state in accordance to Florida statute, and then the item came back for second reading on September 27th, 2023. On October 4th of that year, the transmittal was then retransmitted to the state, and the land use item was approved by both the city and the state. The rezoning and the site plan applications were applied for in 2023 as well. And on June 27, 2024, the Planning and Zoning Department conducted a zoning workshop for the rezoning and the site plan applications. There was no residents that contested the project at the time. On August 14th, 2024, the rezoning application was considered by the city's local planning agency and also by the city council. On December 26, 2024, the master development agreement first reading was heard by the city council. And then before you this evening, as previously stated, the council will consider second reading of the rezoning, second reading of the master development agreement, and the site plan consideration. The site is currently used as a golf course with a future land use designation of downtown mixed use and zoning of multifamily residential and industrial commercial. There is an overlay of urban central business district and is surrounded by a variety of uses, including a private park to the north, downtown mixed use to the south, business community mixed use and downtown mixed use to the east, and a private park to the west. These surrounding zoning districts include general use, industrial commercial, downtown mixed use, industrial commercial, and general use. On the screen, you'll see existing views of the area. There's a northwest view from the intersection of Doral Boulevard and Northwest 87th Avenue, an isometric aerial of the entire property, a view of the west side of the property along Doral Boulevard, which is Northwest 41st Street, and a view of the north along Galloway, which is 87th Avenue. The change in the map for your zoning designation is existing on the left side of the screen is the multifamily district and the industrial commercial district, and then to the right of the screen is the DMU. So you can see how that's going to affect your maps moving forward. The intent and purpose of the downtown mixed use is to provide for horizontal and vertical integration of urban-oriented uses. The district is to promote planned development of large mixed-use projects in downtown Doral by allowing a greater freedom of design, improving the opportunity for flexibility, creativity, and innovation, and limiting the expenditure of public funds and achieving the intent of land use regulations in exchange for the provision by the developer of substantial community developments beyond the increased tax base and employment. And through this project, the applicant is meeting the intent. Permitted uses in the DMU allow for business, retail, office, and residential. The mixture of uses is a requirement by the district. Hotel and hospitality uses are allowed as part of the commercial mix. and the development plans and community connectivity plans for the DMU sites shall identify strategic locations where vertical mixed use shall occur to facilitate multimodal options. At these locations, retail service businesses are encouraged to be located on the ground floor with office and residential uses above, which this project does also meet that intent. For the benefit of the community, prohibited uses in the DMU include big box retail, industrial uses, adult entertainment, funeral homes, laundry, dry cleaning, motor vehicle repair, motor vehicle service center, pawn shops, and veterinary clinics. The second item under consideration is the master development agreement. Pursuant to City Code Section 68560, upon application for rezoning to the DMU district, the applicant shall provide a master development agreement. The agreement shall contain address and the following information when applicable, and I touched on these very briefly in the beginning, but first is the project location, legal description summarizing information contained in the division. The second are zoning specifications, which we'll talk about in a minute. Detailed description of community benefit features and public art, which the applicant has agreed to comply with. Description and specifications for roadway and transit improvements, which again, the applicant has agreed to comply with. Project phasing, commencement, deadlines, et cetera. A technical statement showing the city's public facility level of service are being met and or exceeded by the project. And of course, our city concurrency and county concurrency, which we have all approvals from the requisite applicable agencies such as the school district, Miami-Dade Fire, Miami-Dade Aviation Department, FAA, and Miami-Dade DERM. Third item before you this evening is the site plan. So the project is being referred to as Doral International Towers. Again, it results in 1,498 residential units. The proposed density is 26.5 units per acre with creative excellence incorporated into design, which I'll speak to in a minute. 470 hotel units and just under 142,000 of commercial space. The development standards required by the DMU are provided for in this chart. And what you'll see as you kind of go through the chart is the applicant will exceed the minimum standard, like in landscaping, for example. They far exceed what our standards require. In parking, they exceed what our standards require. The setbacks exceed what our standards require. And so what they've done is taken very careful consideration into the design to ensure that the result is an excellent project for the city. So through creative excellence, your code allows for an additional 10 units per acre. DMU allows for 25. With creative excellence, an applicant can theoretically go up to 30 units per acre. Through this development program, the applicant is only asking for 1.5 units per acre in addition to the 25. So the net will result in 26.5 units per acre. And so their project speaks, their design speaks to the code requirements for urbanism, scale connections, and context, and design excellence. So for example, under the urbanism category, there's a mixture of uses with unique design, including residential, commercial, and resort uses. The streets have walkable edges along Northwest 36th Street and Northwest 87th Avenue to include wide pedestrian-friendly sidewalks and a river walk, plazas, shaded walkways, and connection to the bike path, which provide for a passive and active recreational opportunity. Living and recreational activities include golf, spa, restaurants, lounges, shopping, gyms, and pools. And the project will expand the long-time established resort with new buildings and active uses accessible to all residents. The second criteria under the creative excellence standards is scale, connections, and context. Integration and enhancement to vehicular, bicycle, and pedestrian connections, public transportation enhancements, which include transit and or trolley shelters, and scale of development is consistent with other built projects within the DMU district. And if you look outside of our building at City Hall, you'll see various buildings of the same height, and so that compatibility already exists. The third criteria under the design excellence standards is design excellence, or creative excellence is design excellence. Design incorporates a mixture of materials such as concrete, glass, and steel and stone that are sustainable in South Florida's urban environment and our climate. New buildings will be Gold LEED certified. The project will comply with the city's art program. Lush landscaping will surround public street edges, internal drives, and open spaces, and all retail uses will front and activate either a public street or a pedestrian promenade. To discuss traffic, I will invite my colleagues from Public Works. Oh, there you are.
Good afternoon, Mayor and council members. My name is Edna Sibila. I'm the Transportation Manager for Public Works. So we're going to be discussing some of the traffic improvements that we revised through the traffic study. And these were in agreement with also Miami-Dade County, since both roadways within the project do belong to Miami-Dade County. So we just provided a graphic on some of the offsite, what we call, improvements that were approved. So I'm gonna start what we say the west side, so on this side of the image, which is a median opening that currently is shared with AT&T building. The development is proposing to modify it so that their driveway that's on the north does not allow vehicles to turn left into 36th Street. So it's gonna be restricted, so we don't have that issue with traffic there. Then the next one is it's gonna be one of their driveways. They are proposing a right turn deceleration lane, so that adds capacity to the road because now the traffic is going into that lane. And for the next intersection, which I believe is 9300 block, they're gonna be adding also a right turn lane for their driveway. Then now we go to the median that is shared with, going to the CVS. They're proposing to close the median, and it provides additional capacity for the left turn, the eastbound left turn on 36th Street and 87th Avenue to be able to be extended. So we have additional storage for the vehicles. Also for their driveway on the north, they're proposing, again, a right turn lane, so the traffic is taking off the roadway into their driveway. And now for 87 and 36th Street, there are going to be some modifications. For instance, when you're going southbound on 87th, the project is going to be adding a southbound right turn lane, an exclusive right turn lane. And also they're proposing to install high emphasis crosswalk on every leg of the intersection to ensure pedestrian safety. And also we've agreed with the developer for them to install bus shelters along Doral Boulevard and 87th Avenue. And now along 87th Avenue, the median that's just north of 36th Street, they're proposing to close this median to be able to provide additional storage for the left turns on 36th and on 41st Street on the north. And also on the next signal, which is the main entrance to the development, in addition to extending the left turn lane, they're proposing to install a southbound right turn lane for this intersection. And now we go to the north side of 87th Avenue. Their driveways are going to be adding exclusive right turn lanes. And the median opening that's just on the north, they're going to be adding a northbound left turn into their driveway. So we don't have vehicles just stopping in the middle of 87th Avenue to try to make a right turn, left turn, or making a U-turn. As for the signal on 41st and 87th, which is the main entrance, we've provided some conditions on our traffic approval that prior to the building department providing them with a 50% certificate of occupancy, we hold the right, if we do see that there's an issue with traffic, requesting for the developer to perform an additional analysis, because traffic patterns do change, to make sure that if there's any issues in the traffic signal because of the current operations, it gets mitigated so we don't encounter problems in the future. Another thing, the applicant did agree, because they are modifying all these traffic signals with signal timing, operations, that we're requiring them to coordinate with Miami-Dade County, because the traffic signals do belong to Miami-Dade County. They have jurisdiction, but they have to coordinate to make sure that what they're proposing does get implemented. So it doesn't cause any issues once the project is open. Here again is the condition that we set in their approval. And then we just provided Miami-Dade County Traffic Division. They provide approval for all these off-site improvements as well, and the Highway Division as well. Thank you.
So with that, staff recommends that the mayor and council approve the following requests for the property generally located on the northwest corner of Northwest 87th Avenue and Northwest 36th Street. Second reading of the rezoning from multifamily residential and industrial commercial to downtown mixed use for 56.4 acres. Second reading of the master development agreement and the site plan. Thank you.
Thank you, staff. Now I believe that the applicant has a brief presentation.
Good evening, Madam Mayor, council members. Felix Lasarte with offices at 3250 Northeast First Avenue. I'm here on behalf of Trump Endeavor 12 LLC, the owners of the Trump Doral Resort. Yeah, that was a tough act to follow. They did a very thorough presentation, so I'm not going to belabor this with an even longer presentation. But they did a great job. I think staff has worked with us tremendously well over the last few years to get this done. But I do want to lay some things on the record, and I also want to introduce our team of consultants and our principals that are here that came out to hear the application tonight. You know, first and foremost, the architects that we've been working with, Mario Pasquale and Peter and Andrew from PPK, who have been here for the last 4 years working with us and with your staff on this. They're here tonight. Lauren Brissett and Victor Herrera from BCC Engineering, who have worked with your traffic department in particular to deal with all the traffic impacts that this project have. They're here. And then, you know, from the Trump Organization, Mike Vergara, who's worked with me on this project hand in hand, and Mikhail Damlicourt, who is the general manager of the hotel, who's always willing to accommodate my last-minute meetings at the hotel to try to figure out, you know, what it is that we need to do in order to move this item forward. And, you know, Eric Trump, who is the person who runs the Trump Organization and hired me over 4 years ago to study what could be done on this project, and really has had a lot of the patience and guidance to create the project that is before you tonight, hopefully for final approval. You know, in terms of the chronology of events, your staff went through a very detailed analysis of what occurred. This project, you know, when it was first presented here, none of you were on this dais. And the first time we came before you, before the city council, was on October of the year 21, is when that approval for the first reading of the land use amendment was done. That application had 2,200 units. During that time, that number has been reduced by over 711 units to what we have today, which is the 1,495. So there's been a substantial reduction in the number of units, and the product that we're trying to do has even changed, because we believe that a luxury product in this development is going to serve the golf course better. It's going to create even more membership, and it's going to bring even more exclusivity for that property. And, you know, that, I think, was a result of all the hard work that we put into with your staff, and we know with some of you, to really rethink what exactly it is that we were going to do here. So I think this is a much less intense project and a much more luxury-oriented project than we even thought of. This application has been reviewed by numerous agencies. So, when you approve it, hopefully tonight, this has been reviewed by Miami-Dade County Durham, Miami-Dade County Fire. It's been reviewed by the Department of Community Affairs, the Department of Economic Opportunity in the state. You've had various agencies. You've had not only your city's planning and transit department look at it, your transportation department, but the county has evaluated the traffic impacts of this application as well. The school board has reviewed the application as well. And every single agency has said that we meet concurrency and that this application could go forward. We've had the FAA review the application. We've had the MIA review the application and said that this application could go forward. And the reason I say this is because I think it's important to know that this is a large application, but this is something that we took seriously, and every single thing has been reviewed. Every I was dotted and every T was crossed. So what's being approved here is going to be something that I think you're all going to be proud of. The application has not only, I think, a positive impact economically, but I think socially. I think this particular golf course and this particular resort serves an amazing social purpose in the city of Doral, and I think this application will enhance that. In terms of financial impact, this is for the city of Doral, you're looking at probably, once we have full build out, about a $6 million annual contribution, in ad valorem tax dollars just to the city of Doral. There's going to be another $11 million that's going to be paid to Miami-Dade County on an annual basis when these condos are sold and closed. So it's a significant amount of money that's coming here. But socially, I think that resort brings in the community together. I think when people want to have special events, when people want to host, the various states of the cities have been hosted there. 4th of July fireworks. That resort is like a home to Doral, and we take our responsibility seriously. And I could tell you from talking to the neighbors that live there, I don't think that it's ever been run better than where we're running it right now. This resort is one of the best in the country. It's on par with the top golf resorts in the world, and we believe that it forms part of your community. We have plenty of answers in terms of any questions that you may have with traffic or with design. You've seen, the buildings. I'm not going to go out and play a PowerPoint for you. You've seen the design many times before. This has been, at least before most of you, this is probably the 4th or 5th time that I come before you for various approvals. So I'm going to conclude my presentation, and hopefully, you have any questions. I'm here to answer them, or my team is here to answer them. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Lasarte. All right. We'll take questions from the council if there's any. Would anybody like to start? Any questions? I have a quick question.
Yes.
I just want to confirm there's no changes currently to the golf courses, right? The golf courses will be unimpacted.
Yeah, there's not one blade of grass that's being touched on any of the 4 golf courses that we have or the driving range.
I think it's important to try and preserve the green space. Doral is known as a golf community too, and I think it's what makes us so special and unique. And in South Florida, we're seeing less and less of that. And so for me, it's really important to make sure that we are preserving the golf course. I know you guys did do a conservation easement on the Blue Monster, and we look forward to continuing to work to preserve those green spaces moving forward. I think there was some concern from residents who maybe didn't understand that this is a development that's taking place off of 87th Avenue and 41st Street, and many thought maybe the golf courses were impacted. So I just wanted to make sure it was on the record that the golf courses are not being impacted through this development. I also want to just take an opportunity to thank the applicant for their willingness to work with us. I know that there was a dramatic decrease to the density that was important to us. was important to me to make sure that there was an understanding of the quality of life that we want to set and a standard that we want to set for our residents. It's inevitable to have growth in our community, especially a city like Doral that is really in its young stages. But I think more so importantly for us is that there's responsible growth and quality growth. And so I do think that this is a product that will elevate the standards of Doral. I think that you all have really proven that you're here for providing, a quality product to Doral, and it's not just a quick build and run. Obviously, there's a lot of investment and care for this project and this property by the family and the organization. And I wanted to thank you all for really being patient and working with us to improve the portions of this project that were of a concern, which is obviously traffic and quality of life. And I think that we have gotten to a point where we've met in the middle on that. And I think that's the best that we can ask for. And our job is to protect that growth in our community. So I will be supportive of the project for those reasons. And I think we've had several conversations about the concerns. And I'm confident that with the work that we've done with our experts, as well as your team of experts, we've reached a point that doesn't impede your rights as landowners, but also takes into consideration what's important to our city. So thank you for that, because we know that it was all on a voluntary basis.
Thank you.
All right. Councilman Pinedo?
Thank you, Mayor. I also want to echo what the mayor just mentioned. First of all, I want to thank you, Mr. Lasarte, because since we have been working on this, we have been back and forth. And several conversations. I also want to thank the applicant and your team. Certainly, it's not a secret what my position has been in the previous conversations, but I want to leave on the record that I appreciate the fact that you have been listening to my concerns. I believe, as the mayor said, my main concern at the beginning when I started was the number of units. And I'm glad that we were able to work that out with you and the administration. I also, my main concerns was traffic. By listening to the residents and as a Doral resident as well, that was my main concern. And I'm glad since the last conversation that we had, a lot of the traffic concerns have been certified. And that's why I also want to thank the Planning and Zoning Department, because I know you guys have been working. It's true, everybody, and Public Works too. But it has been a teamwork effort, and I want to thank you for that. And I also want to thank the applicant for joining our cause to fight and make sure that the waste-to-energy facility is not built in the city of Doral anymore. So having said that, I just want to say that thank you, because we have made a lot of progress. And since the last time that I voted for this item, we have been discussing this back and forth. And I want to thank you, because a lot of the main concerns when it comes to traffic, I believe it has been certified. And I look forward to continue the work with you and the organization.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I have some comments, thank you. I also want to thank Mr. Lasarte, Mr. Trump, and the entire team, our staff, that worked on this project. I think it's important to note that this project really does exceed required city standards. It includes enhancements to public transportation, sidewalks, bus shelters, traffic improvements. It's compatible really with the designs and character of our city. And as you mentioned, Mr. Lasarte has been reviewed by and approved by all the appropriate agencies. And truly it adds value to our city. So, and something that's very important as well is that our staff recommends the approval. And I will be supportive, as I have been consistently the past 2 times I voted for it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. It would be appropriate at this time to make a motion. We're going to take one item up at a time. So at this time, I would need a motion if there's no more discussion.
Motion to approve.
We have a motion to approve by Vice Mayor Porras. Do you have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilwoman Reynoso. Madam Clerk, do you want to just read the item one more time, each one individually? Thank you.
I could. This would be item A, a resolution of the mayor and the city council of the city of Doral, Florida, approving the site plan for Trump Endeavor 12 LLC for plus or minus 56 acres of the property located at 4400 Northwest 87th Avenue, Doral, Florida, pursuant to section 53-184F of the city's land development code, providing for incorporation of recitals and providing for an effective date. I have a motion to approve made by Vice Mayor Porras, seconded by Councilwoman Reynoso. Vice Mayor Porras?
Yes.
Councilwoman Reynoso?
Yes.
Councilman Pinedo?
Yes.
Mayor Fraga?
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right, let's, I need another motion for item 20J.
Motion.
Motion to approve by Vice Mayor Porras.
Second.
Second by Councilwoman Reynoso. Madam Clerk, please read the item one more time.
Yes, Madam Mayor, give me 1 second. Item J, ordinance number 2023-423, Trump Endeavor 12 LLC rezoning, an ordinance of the mayor and the city council of the city of Doral, Florida, approving an amendment to the city's official zoning map from multifamily residential 4MF4 and industrial commercial IC to downtown mixed-use DMU for the property located at 4400 Northwest 87th Avenue, Doral, Florida, providing for stability, conflicts, and an effective date. I have a motion to approve ordinance number 2024-23 on second reading, made by Vice Mayor Porras, seconded by Councilwoman Reynoso. Vice Mayor Porras?
Yes.
Councilwoman Reynoso?
Yes.
Councilman Pinedo?
Yes.
Mayor Fraga?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, item 20K. Need a motion?
Motion.
Motion to approve by Vice Mayor Porras. Second.
Second.
Second by Councilwoman Reynoso. Sorry, got ahead of myself. Go ahead and read the item into the record.
Ordinance number 2025-04, Trump Endeavor 12 LLC Master Development Agreement, an ordinance of the mayor and the city council of the city of Doral, Florida, approving the Trump Endeavor 12 LLC Master Development Agreement in order to develop approximately 1,498 residential units and 141,694 of commercial units, in addition to the existing hotel and golf resort uses, providing for incorporation of recitals and providing for an effective date. Motion to approve ordinance number 2025-04 on second reading, made by Vice Mayor Porras, seconded by Councilwoman Reynoso. Vice Mayor Porras?
Yes.
Councilwoman Reynoso?
Yes.
Councilman Pinedo?
Yes.
Mayor Fraga?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Madam Mayor,
Richard.
I just wanted to say one last thing, just for, because I've come to this realization. It actually took Trump less time to become president again than it did for me to get this thing approved. I'm just saying. All right? Yeah. But anyways, thank you very much.
The important thing is it got done.
Yes.
There you
It
go.
was tough, but thank you all. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. If we weren't tough, we wouldn't be doing our job. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Lasarte. Thank you, Mr. Trump, and to everyone from the Trump Organization. Thank you. Thank you very much. All right, we're going to go ahead and move on to the next items.
Madam Mayor, do we want to go to the discussion item from Vice Mayor Porras?
She asked for it right before the budget item, so let's just go
Okay.
ahead and go in order.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sounds
We'll
good.
go to item
No problem.
20B.
First reading. Item 20B, ordinance number 2025-01, Collection Suites 2, Land Use Amendment. An ordinance of the mayor and the city council of the city of Doral, Florida, approving a small-scale land use amendment to the city of Doral comprehensive plan, future land use map, to change the land use category from business B to industrial I for a plus or minus 1.25 acre parcel of land located at 6010 Northwest 102nd Avenue, providing for incorporation of recitals, conflicts, severability, and an effective date. Also, item C.
Yes, let's take them up together. Thank you.
No problem. Ordinance number 2025-02, Collection Suites 2 rezoning. Ordinance of the mayor and the city council of the city of Doral, Florida, approving an amendment to the city's official zoning map from map Commercial Corridor District CC to Industrial Commercial District IC for a plus or minus 1.25 acre parcel of land located at 6010 Northwest 102 Avenue, providing for incorporation of recitals, conflicts, severability, and an effective date.
Okay, I think we're going to hear from planning and zoning at this. Actually, sorry, we need to do public hearing. Yes. Public comments is now open for item 20B and 20C, also known as item 25-5973 and 25-5974. Anyone who would like to speak on these items and these items specifically, please approach podium. You have 3 minutes to speak in a respectful manner towards this council. I have no comment cards. Public hearing is now closed. Let the record reflect that no one has chosen to speak at this time, and I will now take ex parte communication. If there's been any ex parte communication on this item? Okay. I did meet with the applicant, and it does not affect my decision. So I think that's the only ex parte communication, and we will now hear from staff.
Excuse me. The applicant, UF Communications, has a project that we refer to as the Collection Suites located at 6010 Northwest 107th Avenue. Lot size is approximately 1.25 acres for the eastern portion of the property, which is divided straight down the middle. The current future land use category is business. The current zoning district is commercial corridor. Through their request, the applicant is asking for 2 items. The first is a future land use map amendment from business to industrial, and the second is a rezoning from commercial corridor to industrial commercial. And so the parcel, the address, is actually divided by 2 folios. The property to the east has inconsistent land use and zoning with the goals of the development program, but the portion to the west has the requisite land use and zoning, and so we're not dealing with that portion. The applicant is surrounded by industrial future land use to the north, east, and west, and zoning districts to the northeast and west are also industrial commercial, and the zoning district to the south is commercial corridor. And so the request is very much compatible with the surrounding neighborhood, both requests. On your screen, you'll see an isometric view of the property and also a view from the access road on the east side of the property. Should the land use amendment be approved, the map to the left is the existing business classification, and the map to the right would be the proposed modification to industrial. So the business land use designation, which currently is encumbered by the property, is to accommodate a full range of sales service activities, including retail, wholesale, personal and professional services, commercial, professional offices, hotels, motels, hospitals, theaters, medical buildings, nursing homes, entertainment and cultural facilities, amusement, and commercial recreation. The industrial district, which is what the applicant is seeking, allows for industry, manufacturing operations, warehouses, mini warehouses, office buildings, flex space showrooms, distribution storage building areas, distribution centers, merchandise marts, etc. When you look at the development requirements under the land use category, such as building height, landscaping, and floor area ratio, they're very similar to one another, with the exception that the building height in the business future land use designation can go up to 6 stories, whereas the building height in the industrial district is limited to the width of the public right-of-way fronting the subject property. So you're actually going to result in lower buildings and lower intensities. From a zoning aspect, to the left of your screen, you'll see the existing commercial corridor district, and then to the right, the map change that would be effectuated through an approval would be to industrial commercial. So in zoning, you have 3 criteria adopted through your code. The first is whether the request is justified by changed or changing conditions. And so the commercial corridor zoning actually predates the city's incorporation in 2003. And as population and businesses and industry have continued to grow throughout the city, the demand for retail and industrial spaces will continue to expand. The industrial commercial zoning district will provide for uses with commercial and industrial in nature and that are in close proximity to major roadways, which is where you want the heavier intense uses. The second criteria is whether adequate sites already exist for the requested district use. Industrial commercial zoning is currently 9.2% of the city's entire zoning district classification, and as such, a rezoning to industrial commercial would increase that availability of industrial land, furthering the support of the city's initiative to preserve and protect industrial lands and prevent their conversion to non-industrial type uses, ultimately safeguarding the economic base for the city. The third criteria is whether specific requirements of the Land Development Code are adequate to ensure compatibility with adjoining properties as required by the comprehensive plan. The request is compatible with the surrounding area. As I indicated while we were looking at the subject area and the surrounding sides. So on 3 sides of the site, the zoning is compatible with industrial, commercial, and it accommodates commercial and industrial uses. And with that, staff recommends that the mayor and council approve the request for a future land use map amendment from business to industrial and the request for rezoning from commercial corridor to industrial commercial for the eastern 1.25 acre portion of the property located at 6010 Northwest 102nd Avenue. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I don't know if we need to hear from the applicant. Do you want to make a, you don't need to, but, no? Okay.
Good evening, Graham Penn, Burkow, Riddell, Fernandez, Larkin, Tapinas. I'm just excited to bring a truly exciting application in front of you tonight to really jazz it up. As staff noted, this is a technical cleanup change, which will, when we come back to you, we'll be bringing you the project, which is a beautiful low-impact use. So we would ask for your approval tonight on first reading, and I'm here for any questions.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, is there any questions for staff? Otherwise, I need a motion.
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve by Councilman Pinedo,
Second.
second by Councilwoman Reynoso. We'll take up item B first. Madam Clerk, you want to read that one into the record?
Yes, ma'am. Ordinance number 2025-01, Collection Suites 2, Land Use Amendment, and ordinance of the mayor and the city council of the city of Doral, Florida, approving a small land use amendment to the city of Doral Comprehensive Plan Future Land Use Map to change the land use from category B to industrial I for a plus or minus 1.25 acre parcel of land located at 6010 Northwest 102 Avenue, providing for incorporation of recitals, conflicts, severability, and an effective date. I have a motion to approve ordinance number 2025-01 on first reading, made by Councilman Pinedo, seconded by Councilwoman Reynoso. Councilman Pinedo?
Yes.
Councilwoman Reynoso?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Porras?
Yes.
Mayor Fraga?
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right.
Item C, ordinance number 2025-02, Collection Suites 2 rezoning, an ordinance of the mayor and the city council of the city of Doral, Florida, approving an amendment to the city's official zoning map from commercial corridor district CC to industrial commercial IC for a plus or minus 1.25 acre parcel of land located at 6010 Northwest 102 Avenue, providing for incorporation of recitals, conflicts, severability, and an effective date. I have a motion to approve ordinance number 2025-02 on first reading. I don't have a motion. Apologies.
Motion to approve. Yeah.
Motion to approve by Councilman Pinedo,
Second.
second by Councilwoman Reynoso.
Motion to approve ordinance number 2025-02 on first reading, made by Councilman Pinedo, seconded by Councilwoman Reynoso. Councilman Pinedo?
Yes.
Councilwoman Reynoso?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Porras?
Yes.
Mayor Fraga?
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you, thank you.
We now go to item E. Ordinance number 2025-05, amending section 80-258 Scrivener's error, an ordinance of the mayor and the city council of the city of Doral, Florida, approving section 9A text amendment to the city's land development code by amending chapter 80 sign regulations in section 80-2582B in order to correct the Scrivener's error, providing for incorporation into the code, severability, conflicts, and an effective date.
All right, this is our, the city attorney's item.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. So this item is basically, back in January 24th of 2024, the council passed a text amendment allowing for media and public service boards on existing walls, in other words, wall signs. The existing ordinance provided that 1.1% of the total allowable wall space was allowable for the actual signs. In reality, it should have been 1.4%. So what this ordinance is doing is basically correcting that Scrivener's errors, should this council decide to move in that direction.
All right, I need a motion to approve.
Motion.
Motion to approve by Councilman Pinedo. Second by Councilwoman Reynoso. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Motion to approve ordinance number 2025-05 on first reading, made by Councilman Pinedo, seconded by Councilwoman Reynoso. Councilman Pinedo?
Yes.
Councilwoman Reynoso?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Porras?
Yes.
Mayor Fraga?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay. Now we're going to take up the item that was deferred.
Discussion item 28, resolution of the mayor and the city council of the city of Doral, Florida, providing for the elimination of the $2,500 discretionary council stipend, providing direction to the city manager and city attorney, providing for implementation, incorporation of recitals, and an effective date.
All right, Councilwoman, Vice Mayor Boas, this is your item.
So last November, the voters approved adjusting council member salaries to 30% less than the mayor's current salary and to cap all future increases in the same. And this amendment resulted in establishing an annual salary for the mayor of $80,690 and $56,483 for council members. Currently, the city council receives an extra compensation, which is in addition to the salaries of $2,500 a month in the form of a stipend totaling an expenditure of $150,000 a year. In an effort to promote honesty, fiscal responsibility, and also to avoid confusion as to the council's exact compensation, I'm proposing to eliminate the council's monthly stipend of $2,500, which again serves as an extra compensation in addition to salaries. And more importantly, I think this additional, the removal or elimination of this additional compensation will truly support the spirit and true intent of voters when they voted to increase salaries for the council. And I ask for my colleagues' support. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Vice Mayor Porras. I think this is a great initiative, great idea. I think that now with the budget amendment that we'll be taking up next and second reading coming up on the following Monday, not this coming Monday, but the following Monday, gives us an opportunity to think about this and see how it affects each and every single one of us independently and how we use our stipends. So I think a deferral would be necessary to be able to evaluate this further and have a better understanding of how the implications will affect us. Is there any comments? Yes, Councilman Pinedo?
Thank you, Mayor. I also concur with your comments, and thank you, Vice Mayor Porras, for bringing this forward. I think it's a good initiative. However, I agree with your comment, Mayor, so therefore I place a motion to defer.
To
Okay.
time certain or?
Need I have a motion on the table to defer. I need a second.
Second.
All right, we have a motion to defer in a second. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Motion to defer made by Councilman Pinedo, seconded by Councilman Reynoso. Councilman Pinedo?
Yes.
Councilman Reynoso?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Porras?
No.
Mayor Fraga?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, thank you very much. We'll now move into the budget amendments.
Yes, item
Item
F,
F.
ordinance number 2025-06, fiscal year 24-25 budget amendment. An ordinance of the mayor and the city council of the city of Doral, Florida, providing for an amendment increasing the general fund budget for fiscal year 24-25, the capital improvement fund budget for fiscal year 24-25, as reviewed, modified, and approved by the city council at the meetings held on January 15 and February 27, providing for transmittal by the city clerk, providing for implementation, providing for incorporation of recitals, severability, conflicts, and an effective date.
Okay, I think we have finance here as well as the city manager's office.
Good evening, Mayor and Council members, Madam Clerk, Madam City Manager, City Attorney. My name is Solange Perez, Finance Director. The fiscal year 2024-2025 proposed budget amendment is needed to fund various projects and unforeseen increases in expenses for the fiscal year 2025 budget. The following items are addressed in this amendment. Funding changes to mayor and council members' salaries as a result of the charter change approved on November 5th. A transfer out to the Capital Improvement Fund to fund third floor renovations project. Funding to the Clerical Aid 2 position in the city manager's office. Funding for additional positions in the mayor's office. Updates to other current charges accounts in the general government department to include funding for the Doral International Art Festival and Vet Info, as well as the removal of funding for DoorCam. A detailed summary of the line items amended is provided in Exhibit 8 in the attachment to this ordinance. The changes in the fiscal year 2025 general fund budget has a zero net effect on expenditures, as the increases were funded from contingent reserve account in general government. The changes in the 2025 capital improvement fund budget has a $500,000 increase in expenditures funded by a transfer from general fund. We respectfully request that the mayor and city council authorize and approve the amendment to the general fund and the capital improvement fund for fiscal year 2025. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sol. All right, we have this item. I don't know if there's any other additional comments. I do have one.
I have some comments.
Okay, go ahead.
So I have a concern. Well, first of all, we just deferred my item to remove $150,000 from the city budget, and we're increasing the mayor's budget with 3 new positions. one that was previously funded, unfunded, and now with 2 additional ones, which are going to be over $250,000. Are those positions specifically and strictly working solely with the mayor's office?
Is that a question?
That's a question, yeah, or whoever
Yeah.
can answer that.
So the positions will come back to us. We're really right now just creating headcount and allocating funds. The positions will come back at the January 27th council meeting, and there will be a description there of each position and what they'll do and how they report.
My second question is, the deferral that just happened, was that indefinite, or was that to that meeting?
I think that each of us are gonna review and consider, and it'll come back when we're ready. I do plan to possibly bring it back at the next council meeting.
I would say for all of us to consider, if, now that we're doing budget revision, maybe transferring that stipend, if it is something that, you are open to looking at, into possibly helping the council members have an additional role as well, in addition to these 3 new positions under the mayor's office. And again, I don't know exactly where they're going to be fitted, but an idea that could really also help the council members to also help support those things. So
Thank you for the
just
recommendation.
letting you know that.
Okay, if there's no other questions, I do have one clarification. I want to make sure that the funds that are being reallocated from the Doral Contemporary Art Museum are being allocated now to the DF, the Doral International Art Festival, Fair, because it does say Doral Art Fair, so I want to make sure it's Doral International Art Fair.
Yes, that would be updated. It is going to the Doral International.
Yeah, and the other thing is, I think it was 15,000, it should have been 50. So I just
50?
want to make, yeah.
Okay,
So between first and second reading, we can change that.
We will make that update.
Perfect, thank you very much.
Through the mayor.
Yes, Councilwoman.
Regarding this item, I appreciate that the cultural arts of this city has been mentioned, along with helping out a organization that has dedicated their time to the military. I believe that the military community that we have in Doral is very special, very important, and I'm happy to see that we are taking care of an organization that does so much for the military families within this community, including our veterans. So thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, I need a motion.
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve by Councilman Pinedo.
Second.
Second by Councilwoman Reynoso. Madam Clerk, please call roll.
Motion to approve ordinance number 2025-06 on first reading made by Councilman Pinedo, seconded by Councilwoman Reynoso. Councilman Pinedo?
Yes.
Councilwoman Reynoso?
Second. Yes. Sorry.
Vice Mayor Porras?
Yes.
Mayor Fraga?
Yes.
Motion passes. Item G, ordinance number 2025-07, amending Article 3, Boards, Committees, and Commissions. An ordinance of the Mayor and the City Council of the City of Doral, Florida, amending Article 3, Boards, Committees, and Commissions in Chapter 2, Administration, revising procedures for selecting alternate members, providing for implementation, providing for incorporation of recitals, incorporation into the code, severability, conflicts, and an effective date.
All right, item G is, well, let's open up to public hearing. Public comments now open for item 25-6014. Anyone would like to speak, please approach the podium regarding this item. Being no one, public comments is now closed, and I will turn it over to our city clerk.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. This is just a quick item. As you know, the charter was changed to reflect that each of you will appoint each member of each advisory board. However, it was silent on the alternate member. So this changes it so that the mayor would appoint the alternate member for all the boards.
Okay, thank you very much. I need a motion.
Motion.
Motion to approve by Councilman Pinedo.
Second.
Second by Councilwoman Reynoso. Please call the roll, Madam Clerk.
Motion to approve ordinance number 2025-07 on first reading made by Councilman Pinedo, seconded by Councilwoman Reynoso. Councilman Pinedo?
Yes.
Councilwoman Reynoso?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Parra?
Yes.
Mayor Fraga?
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right, thank you very much. Move on to item H.
Item H, ordinance number 2025-08, establishing the Office of the Inspector General. An ordinance of the Mayor and the City Council of the City of Doral, Florida, amending Chapter 2 Administration, assigning and renaming Division 2 Office of the Inspector General, providing for implementation, incorporation of the code, incorporation of recitals, severability, and an effective date.
Okay, opening up public comments for item 25-6023. Anyone who would like to speak on this item, please approach the podium. Being none, public comments is now closed. And we will turn this over to our city attorney.
Thank you very much, Madam Mayor. Mayor, Council, back in November, the residents of the city of Doral voted for a referendum to create the Office of the Inspector General. It is now Section 2.07 of the Charter. Part of the obligation of this council is that once this charter was approved, that an ordinance would be created in which you would create what is the appointment, the term, the functions, the authority, and the powers that this Inspector General would have. So in line with the Section 2.07, you have before you an ordinance that establishes the selection committee, which at some point you would have to choose. The section is very specific that a committee is the one that presents and vets the future Inspector General and brings it back for the council's consideration. It also lays out the functions of the Inspector General to be able to provide information with regards to issues that they perceive are going on in the city, deficiencies, efficiencies that they may want you to consider and ask for further the authority to have further investigation, and also to have the authority to receive complaints, provided that they are verified, signed with the person's name and notarized, and then they would have the authority to carry out their functions as Inspector General and investigate, to subpoena, do everything that is necessary to carry out that investigation. In authoring this particular ordinance, I did take a look at Miami-Dade County's ordinance, City of Miami, Coral Gables, and Miami Beach. So what you have before you is kind of taking a look at what the charter question provided and required of this council, and also some other model Inspector General ordinances that are out there. And I'm open to answer any questions that you may have.
Thank you, Mr. City Attorney. Any questions for the city attorney regarding this item?
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve by Councilman Pinedo. Second?
Second.
Second by Councilwoman Reynoso. There are no additional questions. All right. I am going to ask for each of us to bring back our nominations for the committee at the next hearing, which would be February 12th. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Motion to approve ordinance number 2025 wait on first reading made by Councilman Pinedo, seconded by Councilwoman Reynoso. Councilman Pinedo?
Yes.
Councilwoman Reynoso?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Porras?
Yes.
Mayor Fraga?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, so please bring your items, provide your names to the clerk so she can put an item on the agenda for the next meeting to approve the board to select the IG. All right, we'll move on to the next item, item I.
Next item, item I, ordinance number 2025-09, creating Key to the City Proclamation and Certificate Policy. An ordinance of the Mayor of the City Council of the City of Doral, Florida, amending Chapter 2, Administration, assigning and renaming Division 2, Key to the City Proclamation and Certificates Policy and Procedures, providing for implementation, incorporation into the code, recitals, or repealer, severability, and an effective date.
Okay, we're opening a public hearing for item 256024. Anyone would like to speak to this item, please approach the podium. All right, being none, this item is now closed for public comments, and I'm going to turn it over to the city attorney. Mr. City Attorney.
Yes, what you have before you, the City Council and Madam Mayor, is basically a ordinance that codifies this section that was ratified by resolution at the last council meeting and presents a new methodology by where the keys to the city, the proclamations, and the certificates of recognition or achievement are provided by the mayor in the mayor's absence, the vice mayor, and in the vice mayor's absence, then the council member who authored it or another designee. Basically, what this does for you is it codifies it, and it also provides that the amendments or changes would require a 4/5 vote of the city council.
All right, thank you. Mr. City Attorney, is there any questions on this item?
Motion to approve.
I have a couple questions.
Motion to approve by Councilman Pinedo, and we have questions by Vice Mayor Porras. Go ahead.
Mr. Attorney, I know we discussed this item, so I want to make sure that page 2, section 2-53 will be amended to reflect what we discussed.
And what is that?
Clarification on A, proclamations are to reflect the name of the current mayor, and should the mayor not be available to present it, the requesting council member shall be able to present it.
Yes, that'll be corrected. That was something that was missed, but as we stated, the previous resolution that was approved, and the intent of this is that it is the mayor who gives the proclamations, and in the absence of the mayor, the vice mayor, and if the vice mayor is not there, then the council member who authored the item, authored the proclamation.
Okay, so you'll be making that change, right?
Yes.
Okay. And then the second one was on page 3, section 2-54, clarification on C, certificates, plaques, et cetera, which bear the name of the City of Doral, includes the logo seal of the City of Doral, or which indicate that the certificate of recognition is being bestowed upon by the City of Doral, its council members, administration, shall only be authored, created, and bestowed by the mayor. So what we had discussed was whether there was a prohibition or a limitation on individual members of the council that want to recognize and do their own certificates, recognitions, without having to use the City of Doral logo or, having it come officially from the city. If you can clarify that for us, please.
What I can say to that is that this is a prohibition on all council members giving any type of certificates. So the certificates is exactly what it says there. What I can say, though, in looking into this matter a little bit further, is that Section 1.1 and 1.2 of the City Code provides for how the official seal can be used. Part of it is the actual use of letterhead and the use of other correspondence that the council can use in their official capacity. So what I would suggest is if this council, and the mayor and the council is okay with it, is I would add that this section is valid so long that it does not conflict with section 2.1 and 2.2 of the city, of the code of Doral.
Which is the use of the seal and the logo, right?
Correct, and its use of any correspondence by the mayor and the council members.
Okay. And then the last one was page 4, section 2-56, the 4/5 vote. I asked you to look into it, and if that's something that's valid. As I mentioned to you before, there's been other resolutions, and this is ordinances, that have had this language written in and have been reversed with 3 votes, including the pension ordinance.
So I did take a look at the pension ordinance that you mentioned, and what occurred during the pension ordinance is that the actual ordinance itself required a unanimous vote by the entire council. That is, and given the magnitude of the pension, that it was something that impacted the taxpayer dollars, it was found that was, and in many instances, anything that requires a unanimous vote is found to be invalid. In this case, it's requiring a supermajority, and it's common in most ordinances that, not in most ordinances, but in many ordinances that the city can pass and can impose that on themselves. I have found nothing that, in my review since the last time we spoke, that would make that improper for you to impose that upon yourself.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. All right, is there any other questions? So I think the only thing that we're going to be adding is in section 2-54C. There's going to be a reference to section 2.1 of our city code regarding the seal.
And 2-53.
And 2-2. It's 2-1, I think, and 2-2, the city seal and city logo.
Say again, I'm sorry, where?
It's section 2- let me speak correctly, 2-1.1 and 2-1.2, Madam Mayor. One references the logo, the other one references the seal.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry, yes, we're adding from the code.
Correct.
Into that item,
Yes,
yes. But
Thank you.
only into section 2-54.
yes, Madam Mayor.
But there's
Item C.
another one, 2-53 into the proclamations.
Well, there should be no proclamations created in any type of recognition that resembles a proclamation.
No. The language that needs to be added is all approved proclamations are to reflect the name of the current mayor, and should the mayor not be available to present the proclamation, the vice mayor will present the proclamation.
No, it says right here, it says, all approved proclamations are to reflect the name of the mayor, and should the mayor not be available to present the proclamation, the requesting council member shall be able to present it. In addition, In the vice mayor's absence, the mayor may delegate a council member. So basically the way it works, and we talked about this when we did the policy, is that if the mayor is not available, we've always done it where the council member that requests it gets it for a year, as the mayor and the official spokesperson. I wasn't even asked when a proclamation was being given whether I could attend or I could go. So if there's an issue with the way this is now, I don't understand how there couldn't have been an issue for the past year, whether the mayor was able to give a proclamation or even a key to the city. It wasn't even handed to me. When a proclamation was requested, a key to the city was requested, it was given directly to that council member. There was absolutely no regard for the mayor. So I think that what's appropriate and what we've done and what is best practice would be that in the absence that the mayor cannot be there for a proclamation, the requesting council member can receive it and present it. If that council member is not available, then it'll go to vice mayor. We've said for the keys, it'll be the mayor, and for certificates, it's up to each council member who receives it or who asks for it. The mayor will first ask if we can attend, and if not, it'll go to the council member. I do not want to change that. I think the way it's described is perfect and equitable.
It's against the charter. So
So what happened this past year was not against the charter, Vice Mayor? What happened this
Honestly,
past
I
year
don't
was
know.
not against the charter?
So this is
Very hypocritical.
This is policy. I'm fine with it saying that whoever requests a proclamation can present it. I'm fine with that. But when you state that only the mayor can present it, and if they can't, the council member requesting it, I have an issue with that. So either we say that all of the requesters get to present the proclamation, or following the charter, it should be the mayor, then the vice mayor, and in their absence, then the mayor delegates.
I apologize, but there's no consistency in your recommendation. I'm okay with it the way it is. We will make the change to section 2-54, section C, unless there's consensus on something else. I don't think that the policy needs to be amended any further.
I would like to hear from the attorney. Is this, presenting it this way, is this a violation of the charter?
Let me take another look at it and I can give you a written opinion on it by the next meeting. I mean, this is the will, if this is the will of the council, I'll take a look at it and come
Yeah,
back.
I think that between first and second reading, if you want to bring back some type of additional opinion, that would be great. It gives you some time to look at it. In the meantime, from first to second reading, I think that we'll make the changes that we've discussed and move forward with the current language. There's a motion on the table. Is there a second?
Second.
With the amended changes to section 2-54, section C only.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, I have a motion to approve ordinance number 2025-09 on first reading as amended on section 2.54C, made by Councilman Pinedo, seconded by Councilwoman Reynoso. Councilman Pinedo?
Yes.
Councilwoman Reynoso?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Porras?
No.
Mayor Fraga?
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right. We move on to the next item, second readings. Oh, that's right, we did these. That's right. So we've exhausted our agenda for the evening. Thank you very much for joining us. And I do want to mention that today is Ginger's second birthday. I was just told by our police chief, so happy birthday, Ginger. Our emotional support dog. We need her around here. Bring her. Thank you very much. I need a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Motion to adjourn cohesively by Councilman Pinedo and Councilwoman Reynoso. Second is by Councilman Pinedo today.
Yay.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion is approved and the meeting is adjourned. Thank you very much. Have a good evening.